One of Ariana's biggest feuds has been with her former co-star Victoria Justice. There was always a lot of confusion surrounding their feud because fans never really understood what was really going on. And to be honest, I still don't totally get it. There has been an alleged feud going on for years, going all the way back to 2010 when reports started saying the two of them didn't like each other, despite working together on the Nickelodeon show Victorious. Throughout the past 10 years, the two of them have denied feud rumors on different occasions, but then other things would happen and it would make people believe differently. There's an infamous video clip that went viral showing an interview with Ariana, Victoria, and two of their other co-stars. In the video, one of their co-stars, Elizabeth, is going on about how Ariana sings, and Victoria interrupts the interview and says, "I think we all sing." The video came across in this very jealous way because Victoria also sang on the show, but obviously Ariana's singing career took off and hers didn't. Time and time again though, media outlets reported tension between the two girls, but they have continued to deny it. Victoria did admit during an interview in 2013 that the two of them have had their differences, but said that she still sees the entire cast as one big family. So maybe they did have their differences and had moments of tension, but it seems like they've worked it out at this age, as they probably should. One celebrity who has been very open about her dislike towards Ariana is Giuliana Rancic. The E! News host and red carpet correspondent has interviewed countless amounts of celebrities throughout her career. And with that, she's also had feuds with some of them, Ariana being one of them. Which is a little surprising to me because Ariana isn't one to get into like petty fights and cause drama. But it seemed like this one was very much one-sided. Back in 2014, Giuliana talked about her on E! And said, I quote, "She does have a little bit of a diva thing going on." But what was it that caused her to feel this way about Ariana? She told the story of the time they did an interview and said that they both wanted to showcase their good side to the camera, but they made Giuliana move and then Ariana got to show her good side. She told the story and said, I quote, "Little Ariana comes over and they push me to the other side. I had to fight 13 years to get this side of the camera. It's my good side." Apparently, she took this as if Ariana didn't get her good side, then she wouldn't do the interview. That's when she called Ariana a Mariah Carey and said she has to bend over backwards and do whatever she wants in order to get an interview with her. The E! Host said that Ariana needed to earn her stripes and wasn't far enough in her career to have this kind of attitude. Now, I can understand two ladies wanting to have their good side facing the camera, like don't we all? But I also don't see how this was diva behavior. If anything, this just seems very diva of Giuliana. But let me know what you guys think. I think it's just petty and ridiculous, really. They're both beautiful, like I'm pretty sure both of your sides are good sides. Next up, we have Perez Hilton. Their feud goes way back in time, and at one point things were so bad, reports were saying lawyers could be getting involved. Back in 2014, he tweeted at Ariana saying he heard that she was spotted using cocaine. He expressed concern and then tweeted the same thing at Nickelodeon and Ariana's family, including her mother. Obviously, this was not genuine concern because if you were genuinely concerned for someone's well-being, you wouldn't be tweeting about it publicly. You would probably be messaging them, like privately, maybe. That's when rumors started going around that Ariana was going to sue Perez. So what does Perez do? He tweets out his lawyer's info to Ariana and her mom. Sadly, this was just one moment of tension between the two of them. There are actually quite a few. Later down the road, in more recent times, he called her out for allegedly being a diva. He released an article on his gossip blog website entitled it, "Ariana Grande is so demanding and shallow." It has since been removed, and maybe that's because her fans were quick to defend her. Don't mess with her fans, they're crazy. It seemed like he tried to warn the world that she was some kind of diva who has shallow values, but it was a very unsuccessful attempt. He recently opened up about why he's been so angry towards her all these years, and he revealed that he tried to become her manager when she was just 18 years old, but she rejected him. He explained and said, "I was really hurt, so for years afterwards, I was super petty toward Ariana on my website and on social media. I regret that. It seems like he has come to his senses now and realized that his warnings just aren't being taken seriously. And yeah, he's probably biting himself now because he would be making bank off her. We're moving on to another celebrity, and we have Mayim Bialik. Probably the most random feud you will ever hear about. The Big Bang Theory actress expressed that she had a problem with Ariana back in 2014. She wrote a blog post entitled it, "The Problem with That Giant Billboard of Ariana Grande." In the lengthy blog, which is far too long for me to read on this video, she went into detail about her distaste of Ariana's sexual nature in her album advertisements. She was particularly commenting on a billboard where Ariana is wearing lingerie. She wrote, "Why is she in her underwear on this billboard though? And if she has a talent, then why does she have to sell herself in lingerie?" The reason she had such an issue with it is because she feels that it is damaging for the young girls who look up to Ariana. Ariana has made it clear in interviews though that she should not and will not feel guilty for embracing her sexuality and feeling confident in her own skin. I understand where Mayim's concern is, but maybe don't single out Ariana Grande when this is something that goes on in Hollywood and media like as a whole. That's literally Hollywood. Coming up next is another Nickelodeon co-star, Jennette McCurdy. The two girls actually had their own show together called Sam and Cat, and during that time they seemed inseparable. But over time things seemed to go sour and Jennette took some hits at Ariana. In 2014, Ariana won Favorite TV Actress over Jennette, and TMZ reported that Jennette skipped the award show because she was trying to renegotiate her deal since apparently she made less money than Ariana did. But Ariana was quick to clear up those rumors and took it to Facebook saying, "I am not making more money than my co-star, nor do I think I should be. I am, have always been, and always will be about equality and fairness." Just a few months later though, the show was canceled and they both went on to follow their own career paths. But Jennette's next project seemed to take a shot at Ariana. It was a web series called What's Next for Sarah. In the third episode, it featured a character named Gloriana, a girl with a high ponytail just like Ariana's. Perez Hilton and Jennette joked about the episode on Twitter, and Perez wrote, "Can I be in an upcoming episode? I can be Gloriana's obnoxious gay brother." This would obviously annoy or upset Ariana because of the way that Perez has treated her, which I mentioned above. Reports say the two of them have not spoken in years, and in 2016, Jennette posted a video of her jamming out to one of Ariana's songs, so maybe they have buried the hatchet after all these years. We're not totally sure. Making his way onto this list is Kanye West. It's not really a surprise that she has ended up in one of his Twitter rants. Almost every celebrity has at one point in time. Back in 2018, he called her out on Twitter for using his Twitter feud with Drake as a way to promote her new song with Miley Cyrus. What happened was, Ariana tweeted, "Guys, I know there are grown men arguing online right now, but Miley and I are dropping our beautiful new song tonight, so if y'all could just please behave for just like a few hours so the girls can shine, that would be so sick, thank you." She was referring to Kanye and Drake, who were in a heated spat on Twitter. Kanye took her tweet more personally than it was probably intended to be, and he was very hurt by it. He admitted he was mentally struggling and said it wasn't right for her to make a joke about the situation. He said, "Ariana, you know I got love for you, but until you're ready to really make sure everyone's okay, don't use me or this moment to promote a song." I understand where he's coming from, and some people were in agreement with him, while others just thought he was making it way more serious than it was. Ariana's response though was everyone's favorite part. She did apologize if her tweet triggered him and said that she understands how it was insensitive, but she started her apology by saying, "With all due respect, I don't need to use anyone to promote anything, period." Lastly, we have one of her ex-fiancés, Pete Davidson. The two of them got together in 2018 and their relationship moved very quickly, getting engaged and moving in with each other after only months of dating. From the outside looking in, they seemed to be head over heels for one another. They were freaking adorable. But they were only engaged for a few months before Ariana broke it off and they went their separate ways. After their split, Pete went and got a cover-up over the tattoo that he had done for her while they were obviously together, and he called her out in his Netflix comedy special. He wasn't thrilled about her song Thank You Next, where she wrote lyrics about all of her ex-boyfriends, including him. During his Netflix stand-up special, he called her out and said, "Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow. If I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started on my ex." He also didn't think it was fair that she was named Billboard's Women of the Year after her hit song about him and all her exes, but he was publicly ridiculed after their breakup. However, since then, the two of them have come to good terms and now both speak kindly about one another. Pete later revealed that the reason they actually ended was because Ariana was hurting after her ex-boyfriend Mac Miller tragically passed away from an overdose. He admitted that she was going through a very difficult time and said that he now respects the decision that she made.
Ariana Grande is finally getting called out for her toxic behavior after over a decade in the spotlight. But we dug deep and found some celebs who tried to warn us about her years and years ago. First off, if you aren't already caught up on all the Ariana Grande drama, here is the quick scoop. Ariana was married to Dalton Gomez, but while filming the upcoming Wicked movie, she reportedly fell in love with her co-star Ethan Slater, whose claim to fame is playing SpongeBob on Broadway. But here's the kicker, SpongeBob has a spouse, and so does Ariana. Ariana filed for divorce in 2022 from Dalton, and Ethan Slater's wife and child are apparently betrayed by his affair with Ariana. Oh no. But this is not the first time Ariana has come under fire for cheating. Naya Rivera, the late star of Glee, had some tea to spill in her book. Ariana began dating Naya's ex-fiance Big Sean not too long after they called off their wedding plans in 2014. But according to Naya, all was not well in her relationship. She and Big Sean had been fighting frequently while he was on the road. That's not the most fun thing to go through, but it is about to get even more dramatic. According to Refinery 29, one chapter contains the following quote. On the one day that he was back in LA, he said he didn't want to see me, but since she had a key, she let herself into his house. I walked in, I went downstairs, and guess what little girl is sitting cross-legged on the couch listening to music? It rhymes with Samariana Shaman Day. It's unclear exactly what Naya is alluding to here, but it doesn't seem like she was too pleased to find them hanging out together. As we know, Big Sean and Ariana went on to date for nearly a year, and Naya got engaged and married to Ryan Dorsey before sadly passing away in 2020 after a drowning incident. Ariana's Nickelodeon co-star Jennette McCurdy also had some very unpleasant things to say about her. When Victorious ended, Nickelodeon created a spin-off in which Ariana Grande would reprise her role as Kat Valentine, and Jennette McCurdy of iCarly would reprise her role as Sam Huckett. The short-lived series Sam and Kat ran for one season, but that didn't stop the show from having some behind-the-scenes drama. In 2014, TMZ reported that McCurdy was being paid less than Grande on the Nickelodeon show, even though the two of them shared equal billing. Grande denied the pay rumors on her Facebook page. I am not making more money than my co-star, nor do I think I should be. So we can all move on and get out of our heads that this was a money thing, cause I don't play like that at all. I am, have always been, and always will be about equality and fairness. In her book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, McCurdy reflects on the disdain she felt for Grande, who she claims was given special treatment during their time on Sam and Kat. I'm pissed about it. I'm pissed at her, jealous of her, so now every time she misses work, it feels like a personal attack. From that moment on, I didn't like her. I couldn't like her, she writes. Jennette also shares a time Ariana was able to miss filming an episode because of conflicts with her budding singing career, but Jennette was never allowed to miss a day. There was also one time when Jennette was on set for Sam and Kat, ready to shoot an episode, when Ariana came humming happily late onto set. Jennette asked where she was, and Ariana told her she had dinner with Tom Hanks the night before. Jennette says she was fuming of jealousy. Pete Davidson, Ariana's ex-boyfriend, had some dramatic things to say about her as well. The singer and Saturday Night Live star connected in 2016 while they were both in relationships and later became inseparable. In May 2018, they were confirmed as a couple. Just weeks later, the lovebirds announced their engagement and immediately started sharing the juicy details of their relationship. In fact, Grande publicly spoke about David's manhood on several occasions, which the comedian was less than thrilled about. The couple seemed infatuated and super happy, so when it all came crashing down after only 4 months, everybody was a bit shocked. After the breakup, Grande tried to reach out, but Davidson wanted nothing to do with the Thank You Next singer. He blocked her and said, "Stop reaching out. You're not good for my health. I cannot have this in my life. Yikes. Kanye West has beef with just about every celebrity, and apparently including Miss Ariana Grande. In December 2018, Kanye West went after Grande for offering unsolicited commentary while he was in the middle of a Twitter rant about Drake, after she encouraged the public to turn their attention away from the grown men arguing online and instead to focus on a song she was gearing up to release. The rapper called Grande out for trying to be, quote, cool. In a follow-up tweet, he expressed disappointment in the singer for capitalizing on his mental health. All of this foolishness weighed on my mental health, so at Ariana Grande, you know I got love for you, but until you're ready to really make sure everybody's okay, don't use me or this moment to promote a song. Yikes. Drake Bell also had something to say about Ariana. Drake Bell is most known for his role in Nickelodeon's Drake and Josh. Since the show's wrap in 2008, Bell has busied himself with making music and criticizing some of Hollywood's biggest stars. In a lengthy rant about the industry, he targeted Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga, among others, and shared his thoughts on Ariana Grande, deeming her undeserving of her career. Wow. There's just a lot of really young, entitled people, he says. I don't think a lot of these young people have to work very hard. He told that to BuzzFeed. Ariana Grande is a billionaire before she's been an artist. You have to work to be able to appreciate what you have. What work did she ever have to do in her life? Also, apparently to James Charles, Ariana Grande is the, quote, rudest celebrity he has ever met, despite the fact that they've apparently never actually met in person. In 2018, Charles claimed that the two had started a virtual friendship after he'd attended one of her concerts and shared footage of it online. At the time, Charles was experiencing severe backlash for numerous online controversies, including his infamous tweet about Ebola, where he tweeted, "I can't believe we're going to Africa today. OMG, what if we get Ebola?" Oh, James. Ariana apparently did not like this comment, as well as many others, and unfollowed James on Instagram. I messaged her and I was like, hey, did I do something wrong? And she literally was like, hey babe, I just saw a lot of angry tweets from my fans and I would never want to disappoint them, so I unfollowed you, James said in a YouTube video. James reportedly sent back a strong-worded message to the singer and says he later regretted how he handled the situation with her. But honestly, I think Ariana was lucky to get out of that situation while she could, as James's biggest scandal was yet to come. In 2021, a 16-year-old boy claimed Charles had pressured him into exchanging photos via the Snapchat app. Charles spoke out against the allegations and claimed he had been unaware of the boy's age at the time of the interaction. But just a couple days later, 3 more males came forward to share their negative Snapchat experiences with James, including a 17-year-old boy that states James continued flirting with him after finding out his age. Yikes. Back to Ariana, another celebrity who has had some beef with her is the queen herself, Rihanna. Rihanna's shady side came in full force during Ariana's performance at the 2014 iHeartRadio Music Awards. When Ariana took to the stage to perform, many thought her dance moves appeared sloppy, and apparently so did Rihanna. The camera panned to her multiple times, covering her mouth, giggling during Ariana's performance. But this isn't the first time Riri has took a swipe at stars on stage. In 2013, she appeared physically repulsed when Miley Cyrus twerked in front of Robin Thicke during the VMAs, and also during Britney Spears' disastrous 2007 performance of Give Me More. There was also a burst of giggles from Rihanna. Lindsay Lohan also had some thoughts about Ariana, and they aren't too nice. When Ariana posted a picture on Instagram posing with Hairspray Live co-star Dove Cameron, Lindsay felt the urge to comment, "Too much makeup." Ariana's fans stepped in right away with some pretty mean comments to Lindsay, such as @Lindsay Lohan, "But your movie career didn't even last adult years. By the time you were 24, you already looked 42. No one knows the true beef between Lindsay and Ariana, but it's clear Lindsay is not a fan. Jay Brooks, Ariana Grande's ex-boyfriend, says she cheated on him with singer Nathan Sykes. Nathan and Ariana collaborated on a song and apparently got a little too close for comfort. Brooks ranted on Twitter saying, "Once you're cheated on, you should never go back, and I did because I wasn't ready to give up on love and something that was everything to me." The singer added, "Today was supposed to be our 1-year anniversary, but instead I'm writing this. Do you know how this makes me feel?" She may not respond to this post, may ignore it, may deny it, or may own up to it. She's gonna do what's best for her and do what she thinks is right, which is exactly what what I'm doing. I'm looking out for myself. Good for you, Jay. Good for you. Although, Frankie Grande, Ariana's brother, wrote, "Anybody who believes that rumor about my sister cheating needs to pause, open their eyes, and remember how much she loved him. He crushed her with a phone breakup, and to see Ari that miserable broke my heart." Jay fired back with, "Don't you dare talk about me. You don't even know me." Last but not least, we have Juliana Rancic, a reporter for E! News. She and Ariana met on the red carpet, and she told US Weekly, "I was at the AMAs and little Ariana comes over. I feel like, bing, elbow in my side. I'm like, what's going on? And they pushed me to the other side, so I had to be on my ugly side. But I felt a little bit of, it was like you either get on the other side or we don't do an interview." Rancic added, "I just felt like it's one thing if it's Mariah Carey, I'll get on any side. I'll bend down, I'll climb a ladder, whatever it takes to get Mariah to do an interview. But when you're new to the block, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Try to get a great reputation, try to go overboard to please people. I guess Ariana knows her good side and will do anything to not film on the bad side."
Number 10. Jamie Lynn Spears. Zoey 101 was a boarding school set dramedy that hit Nickelodeon in January of 2005. Starring as protagonist Zoe Brooks, Jamie Lynn Spears was reportedly brought on by its creator Dan Schneider because she looked a lot like her older sister and superstar Britney Spears. But little did fans know there was actually a scandal brewing behind the set, as its star was just 16 when she fell pregnant, which would have been a bombshell for the very PG show. In her memoir, Things I Should Have Said, Jamie Lynn Spears confessed that her team decided that Britney Spears should not be told about her pregnancy as it was too risky. Quote, "The entire Spears team was already caught up in my sister's PR difficulties, and everyone around me just wanted to make this issue disappear." From there, her family and management pulled her out of school until they could figure out what to do next, and even took away her phone for fear that she would tell the world about the news. As a result, the actress said that her father even stopped speaking to her. But when the news got out, Nick immediately released a statement saying, "We respect Jamie Lynn's decision to take responsibility in this sensitive and personal situation." And after wrapping shooting for the 4th season of Zoey 101, the network went on to cancel the series. Number 9. Anne Walker Farrell. A director on Netflix's BoJack Horseman, Anne Walker Farrell wrote on Twitter that she was preyed upon by Nickelodeon showrunner Chris Savino 15 years ago when she was 20, when they both worked at the Cartoon Network. She wrote that she was speaking up for the young guns out there and also posted what appears to be a letter advising the unknown recipient that Savino should be terminated from Nickelodeon for being a predator and a liability. Anne's complaint was shared publicly and actually ended up working, as once the truth was exposed, it became a massive PR nightmare for the network, akin to their own version of Harvey Weinstein. The scandal became too much for the company to bear, and in 2017, Nick was forced to fire Savino over the allegations made by Anne and at least a dozen other women. It was a tough decision for them, considering the fact that he was one of their most prominent showrunners, who has been in the business since the early 90s. Number 8. Mark Summers. You might remember Mark Summers as the host of the Nick game show Double Dare, but the face of one of Nickelodeon's biggest 90s hits apparently doesn't think much of the channel, and he has made his opinion pretty clear in a 2013 interview. Quote, "The network is going in the dumper. Disney beats it. They have no idea what they're doing. They put on a bunch of cartoons and stuffed animals instead of real human beings that other people can associate with. The creative people are gone. It's become a how much money can we make from this merchandise and how many tours can we put out and steal money from the parents." Nickelodeon obviously did him dirty when you think about everything that he said. But his bitter rant was far from over, and in that same interview, when asked if he would ever return to the network, he grew frustrated and called the executives of Nick a bunch of a-holes who have been trying to screw him over ever since he left. It's entirely possible that his time at the network did not end well, and they decided to blacklist him and get some kind of revenge for him leaving on bad terms. But maybe it wasn't all that simple, considering that in 2018 he returned to the Double Dare stage as the announcer for the revival of the show. Number 7. Josh Peck. The star of Drake and Josh actually read Jennette McCurdy's new memoir and shared some incredibly kind words about the actress, saying, "I think she's incredibly brave to tell her story and to be as honest as she is." Just like Jennette, Josh released his very own candid memoir this year called Happy People Are Annoying. In it, he opens up about the hurdles he faced as a former child star, including his weight struggles and year-long battle with substance misuse and addictions. Looking to feel better about himself, the actor explained in an interview that he lost 127 pounds in an 18-month time span while filming the show. But when that didn't bring him happiness, he admitted that he turned to alcohol and illicit substances for help. In the tell-all book, Josh disclosed his earnings on the show and revealed that he averaged roughly $15,000 per episode. But after paying a 20% fee to his agent, along with other fees to different managers, he wasn't left with very much at all. He also explained that he hasn't made any money off the show since it ended in 2007, despite the fact that reruns continue to play to this day, simply because kids TV doesn't have residuals. Number 6. Jennette McCurdy. The iCarly star recently released a book titled I'm Glad My Mom Died, which shocked fans to the core upon its release, because it reveals what really went on behind the cameras at Nick. Jennette exposed her traumatic experiences as a child star and detailed numerous instances where she felt exploited as an actor both on and off set. Describing the creator as mean-spirited, controlling, and terrifying, she alleged that Dan Schneider was extremely inappropriate with the cast, and at one point he was not even allowed to be on set with them and had to direct the episodes from a separate control room. She also opens up about the perils of young fame and reveals that she developed an eating disorder, partly due to pressure imposed on her by her mother. And if you had any remaining doubts about how serious her allegations are, Jennette also revealed that the network offered her $300,000 if she agreed to keep silent about her experiences. The 31-year-old said that the offer was made right after her stint in Sam and Cat ended in 2014, and at the time she said that it felt like hush money. In the end, after everything she had gone through as a child star, she rejected Nick's offer and has been vocal about her experiences ever since. Number 5. Avan Jogia. The Canadian actor had his breakthrough role playing Beck Oliver in Victorious, but after Jennette McCurdy's bombshell allegations surfaced, fans really started to question whether or not he had the same experience. In a recent TikTok video, Avan admitted that he did not actually remember filming the series at all, because he was blackout drunk almost every night. Quote, "When you don't remember a single plotline to a single Victorious episode, but you do remember going out partying every night." When one fan added that the show seems like a fever dream to her, Avan said, "Me too, and I was there." And when another fan asked, "So Beck was hungover all the time?" he said yes. This admission was a huge red flag because in Jennette's new memoir, she talks about the creator pressuring her to drink while she's underage and telling her that the Victorious get drunk together all the time. The iCarly kids are so wholesome. We need to give you guys a little edge. Sometime later, she claims that Schneider got in trouble with Nickelodeon for inappropriate behavior with the young cast and was not allowed to be near the actors anymore. So it's entirely possible that he was creeping on more than just one actor at the same time. Number 4. Katina Waters. In 2014, the stuntwoman from iCarly claimed that the production ruined her career by recklessly dropping her from far too high above the ground, causing some really horrific injuries. In a stunt gone wrong, Katina Waters was supposed to be dropped slowly from the ceiling for an episode of iCarly in 2011. She was to be slowly lowered to the ground while still attached to a wire. Instead, she claims that the person operating the descender machine dropped her without warning and she crashed to the floor. The consequences of the incident were extremely gruesome, as the fall caused severe injuries to her leg, including fractured bones and torn ligaments. But the long-term effects on her health were even worse for her career. Waters was a highly successful stunt actor who performed in dozens of TV shows and movies, but of course she missed out on a lot of work following the incident. Subsequently, she decided to sue the producer, Schneider's Bakery, plus Nickelodeon and MTV networks for the pain, suffering, and loss of earnings as a result of the incident. While the lawsuit was a really bad look for Nick, it shined a light on the mistreatment of the cast and crew on some of their biggest shows. Number 3. Caitlin Sanchez. The network had a really big mess on their hands when Caitlin Sanchez, the teenager who played Dora the Explorer for over 3 years, alleged that when she made the deal with Nickelodeon to voice the iconic character, she was given just 22 minutes to sign the contract without an experienced lawyer. The young star allegedly did so under duress and with the promise that she'd receive residuals for her work, plus money from merchandising, which was not true at all. Dora the Explorer is now an $11 billion global brand, so the contract that Caitlin signed actually conned her out of millions of dollars. In 2010, she decided to sue Nickelodeon and MTV networks, specifically citing unpaid working hours as well as being paid only $40 for promotional appearances. The legal battle made headlines throughout the world, and thanks to statements made by Caitlin's attorney that if Nickelodeon refused to pay up by a certain date, he'd expose their humiliating secrets. Although she was somewhat successful in the end and received a settlement of $500,000, she later tried to re-sue because she and her family alleged that their attorney at the time acted fraudulently and neglected to tell them about taxes and lawyer fees. But by now, many people realize that the network has a problematic history of underpaying their child stars. Number 2. Angelique Bates. The actress who was one of the original cast members on Nick's hit sketch comedy show All That exposed the reality behind the cameras when she spoke to the Shade Room in 2016. Angelique explained some of the horrors she endured, such as physical, emotional, and mental mistreatment from her mother in front of producers who not only turned the other cheek, but strongly urged her to just accept the violence and remain silent. She said that she was only 12 years old when the nightmare began, and that producers and cast members could hear her yelling, but nothing was done to help her. According to Angelique, Child Protective Services did eventually show up in 1996, but she said the adults on set pressured her to stay silent. Angelique's mother, Dee Bates, came forward in support of her daughter, although she tried to shift the blame onto the network. Whatever the case with her mother's questionable side of the story, the former child star also explained that she was pretty much released from her contract at age 15, and claimed that she was blackballed by the entertainment industry as a result. But to this day, Nickelodeon has never come forward with an official response to the accusations. Number 1. Alexa Nikolas. The former Zoey 101 star has recently come forward with her own Nickelodeon horror story while protesting outside of Nick's Burbank headquarters. According to TMZ, the 30-year-old actress organized the heated protest herself in order to bring more of her own disturbing allegations to light, specifically against iCarly series creator Dan Schneider. In recent years, Alexa has been active in her advocacy for survivors of violence, as she leads her own organization called Eat Predators. While standing at the studio's front doors, she alleged that during her time on the show, she and fellow child actors were not safe, so she organized a protest at the studio to speak up and try to change things by taking matters into her own hands. Alexa revealed that she didn't feel Nickelodeon had her best interest in mind, and called her entire experience there traumatic. She believes in exposing the truth about the network's business practices, and calls out Nick's excessive use of NDAs, which she says silence children and prevent them from getting help. She even brought up the fact that Nick has yet to respond to the allegations from Jennette or herself, or announce that they plan to take any kind of action at all.
Coming in at number 10 today, we have the deleted Instagram. Over the weekend, reports all across social media would claim that Ariana's husband, Dalton Gomez, deactivated his Instagram, and in the process, fans have started to speculate that the married couple was headed towards a divorce. According to recent articles, just after fans started questioning Dalton's sexuality, he would deactivate his Instagram page. However, it's still unsure whether or not these accusations regarding who he is interested in or not was actually behind the reason for him to deactivate his account in the first place. With Ariana's husband reportedly not using Instagram regularly, he could have just deactivated his account because he just doesn't want to use social media anymore. With the two being happily married, that hasn't stopped the divorce rumors from swirling around Hollywood, and it makes us wonder if this whole thing is just being blown out of proportion by the public, as there hasn't been any signs to show that the pair are separating online. Well, that's just yet. Who knows what we might see in the weeks to come. Number 9. Still loves Mac Miller. After Ariana's relationship turned toxic with Mac Miller, she would be devastated when she made the decision to leave the late star. Her desire to be his rock and to help him battle through his ongoing substance abuse became a little too much for her, as he wasn't able to accomplish anything that they were working on together, and she understandably couldn't bear to watch him go down this destructive road. Back in 2018, Grande would make her first public comment regarding the couple's breakup when she would say, "Unconditional love is not selfish. It's wanting the best for the person, even at that moment it's not you. I can't wait to know and support you forever, and I'm so proud of you." Mac would then pass away on September 7th, 2018, leaving Ariana to only be able to wish for her to tell him in person what he actually meant to her, as she expressed on her smash hit Thank You Next, and has since never stopped expressing her love for the star, even as she has moved on in her personal life with her husband Dalton Gomez. But as she falls more in love with Dalton, she's struggling to stop comparing her new love to Mac, and it's becoming really hard for the star, as in 2019 she even even choked up during a show in his hometown of Pittsburgh. When she got to the part, "I wish I could say thank you to Malcolm, cause he was an angel," in her song Thank You Next. And she even had his music playing in the arena earlier that evening as concert goers filled into the arena. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss what we might just cover next. Coming in at number 8, we have the rushed marriage, with Ariana and her Los Angeles real estate husband Dalton Gomez having a year-long lockdown relationship. When the pair announced in December of 2020 they were engaged after just 11 months of dating. While both Ariana's and Dalton's families were thrilled about the two getting married, some of Ariana's friends were concerned that the pair's relationship was moving a little too fast. Some even told Entertainment Tonight they weren't even sure if the pair were actually going to last. With there no doubt about the couple being very much in love, but some of their friends thought the arrangement was somewhat rushed and they were very skeptical when it came to the fact that the pair's relationship could ultimately be short-lived. With the pair mainly being able to keep to themselves, they were forced for over a year to just enjoy each other's company, especially since Ariana bought a house so she could live in it with Dalton, and since they've kept their relationship pretty private, so it makes us wonder what could be happening behind closed doors. Number 7, famous friends. It's no doubt that the only reason why Ariana's relationship has made it this far, it's because it's been pretty private. However, he tends to be friends with the same circle as Ariana, which could pose as a bit of a stress on the couple's relationship from time to time, as it means they are with each other a lot of the time. They don't really have any spare time to escape like a normal couple would. With TMZ pointing out that Dalton does in fact have other celebrity friends, which include Miley Cyrus, as she shared a story with him hanging out with her other friends back in 2017. We know personally Miley is close to Ariana, as they've even teamed up from time to time to collab on certain projects, and that means her fiance runs in the same circle as she does. Number 6. He was her realtor. Unlike most of Ariana's exes, Dalton is not an entertainer, but instead he's a Los Angeles real estate agent. Currently he serves as the director of estates division for luxury real estate company Aaron Kerman's group, where he works with A-list clients. According to his company's website, Dalton has 7 years of experience when it comes to the luxury real estate market, and during his first 3 years in the business he served as the director of operations, which meant he was running all the day-to-day operations for one of the top luxury real estate teams in LA, which means that the couple actually met when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway house, and her team found Dalton to help her with that, which makes you wonder, is it against the business ethics to go on a date with her in the first place, since he was employed by the singer? After all, he helped her find a house. Number 5, she made the first move. So we all appreciate a girl who is brave enough to make the first move, but at times certain girls who made the first move in the first place aren't exactly happy with the fact that they had to be the one to do it. So according to US Weekly, when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway home, her team and Dalton helped her find the perfect location. However, Ariana, when she finally met Dalton and saw him in person for the first time, she immediately thought he was cute and very good looking, so she asked her team if they could set up an in-person meeting with him. And from there, Ariana fell very hard for the real estate agent as soon as she met with him. After the two met, Ariana went on to follow Dalton and his tattoo artist brother Dakota, and one of them even pointed out that Dalton and Aaron Kerman had the listing for the property that she purchased. Dalton also went on to comment on her Instagram live one time saying, "This girl is cute," to the point she responded by saying, "I feel blessed." Number 4, hidden marriage. It seems like much of Ariana's relationship is very quiet when you compare it to her other relationships. Maybe this is because Dalton isn't exactly an A-list celebrity, or maybe it's because he wants to keep things a secret. But honestly, it's not really shocking that Dalton wouldn't want the relationship to be in the spotlight, as any celebrity couple who flaunts their relationship in public doesn't end up looking really happy, and their relationships don't really end up lasting. But this, at the end of the day, could be because Ariana has doubts about their relationship. With the pair having a tiny and intimate ceremony with less than 20 people, it definitely wasn't the fairy tale come true wedding for the star, and I think we can all agree everything just looked a little basic, especially since it was a wedding for a girl who legit bragged about that if she wanted something, she could have it. And having those 7 rings, we were expecting big, lavish, and a fairy book inspired wedding. We wanted Wicked vibes, and that's just not what we got. With their romance being so happy and full of love, it makes you wonder why the couple kept their marriage a secret and why it took them so long to announce that they were actually getting married. Number 3. The signed prenup. Over the years, we have seen many celebrity divorces hit the fan. as they involved so much money and problems for the stars. And we have to face it, when it comes to splitting the cash, it wasn't exactly easy. Considering that Ariana Grande is worth $180 million before her marriage, she could have lost an awful lot of money if she went into her marriage unprotected. And many people started to point out that it could have been the wrong marriage. And she even had doubts about this person she was marrying. As when fans came to learn the Thank You Next singer finally did tie the knot with the real estate agent in May of 2021, some of them were super concerned that he was only marrying her because he was after her money. Fortunately, it certainly seems like his intentions were pure according to rumors, as Ariana's husband signed a prenup, and if the facts are true, it was also stated that Ariana's lawyer spent months putting together an ironclad prenuptial agreement which Ariana and Dalton both signed before they walked down the aisle. But it really makes you wonder what was exactly in their agreement and how much Dalton could still take if things were to go wrong. Number 2. Cultural appropriation. Back in 2021, Ariana and her husband Dalton would be accused of mocking Native American cultures in a now deleted Instagram video. The clip reposted by Ariana would resurface online and it would quickly be shared by various Twitter accounts. While the victorious actress and her husband were joined by a few friends, the group could be seen participating in a native dance while sitting at the center of the circle. Ariana could be seen singing, laughing, while spinning a huge piece of cloth around in the air, while the other people in the short video were allegedly whooping and drumming along with her. The singer then went on to receive backlash from a number of upset fans for mocking Native American culture, with one fan writing, "Ariana disrespecting indigenous people's culture. Americans have such a long history of dehumanizing Native Americans, but shouldn't we hold those with a platform to a higher standard, even if it was bare minimum?" As many people went on to drag Ariana, what made matters even worse is when fans started to tell Native Americans who were voicing their opinions as they were upset over the star's behavior, they were being told to shut up, and Ariana just sat there and watched it all happen. And coming in number 1 today with Justin Bieber. For years now, it seems like everyone has been shipping Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber to get together, with both being superstars. They're the same age, and I mean, it's really not hard to see why so many fans believe they could be the perfect celebrity couple. While Justin may be married to Hailey Baldwin, and Ariana may be dating other guys and is now married, it doesn't mean that they're not meant to be together. They have so much in common, and they've been friends for years. For some reason, fate just doesn't bring them together, but that doesn't mean we might not see them come together in the future. From the stars going on tour with each other, Ariana being a huge fan, they got to know each other personally. In 2013, they were even spotted sharing a kiss that broke the internet. Well, Ariana did come out to clear the air and said that their kiss meant nothing. It made a lot of people wonder if she was only saying this because she didn't want to step on Selena's toes. And can we just talk about all the backstage love they've been sharing behind the scenes together, as we can't help but notice they can't stay away from each other. And with this whole Stuck With You collab, it just seemed like they made the video to tell their significant others they were happy to be stuck inside with them because they couldn't be with each other. But maybe I'm just looking too deep into things because I don't like Hailey.
Number 10. Victoria Justice. Let's turn our attention towards Victoria Justice, a name you may remember from the hit show Victorious. At one point, she believed leaving her co-stars behind to venture solo would skyrocket her career. However, the reality turned out to be quite different. Justice found herself in a public feud with Ariana Grande when Grande alleged in a 17 magazine interview that Justice had been a bully on set. She said, "I worked with someone who told me that they'd never like me." Justice hit back on Twitter, calling out people ready to tarnish friendships to look good. She wrote, "Some people would throw someone that they consider a friend under the bus just to make themselves look good. Hashtag stop being phony. Hashtag if they only knew." It was rumored that Justice abandoned her ensemble cast to make a solo run, a move that, as we know, didn't quite pan out. Today, she seems to be the one grappling for a steadfast career in Hollywood. In the years following the incident, tensions between Justice and Grande have seemingly cooled down, but the fallout from their public spat continues to be a topic of discussion among fans. While both stars have gone on to pursue their individual careers, Justice seemed to bear the brunt of the controversy. In several interviews, she's expressed that the feud with Ariana Grande was blown way out of proportion, and that it was a trying time in her life. She said, "It's a shame when people try to make headlines out of irrelevant situations," though she has always maintained that her decision to go solo was not influenced by any animosity towards Ariana Grande, but rather a desire to carve out her own path in the industry. In contrast, many fans and critics perceive it as a strategic move that just didn't work in her favor. Number 9. Jennette McCurdy. Once a Nickelodeon darling, Jennette McCurdy doesn't seem to hold a high opinion of Ariana Grande, in spite of their past friendship. The pair first teamed up to work on the highly popular show Sam and Cat. However, the show was cancelled soon after rumors surfaced that McCurdy discovered the producers favoring Grande, even insisting on equal pay due to the speculation that Ariana was earning significantly more money. Unfortunately, this situation did not end well. The show was abruptly cancelled, and Ariana proceeded to kickstart her solo career. Jennette's departure from Nickelodeon seemed to have been the beginning of a downfall for her, while Ariana flourished in the music industry. The two childhood friends soon drifted apart, with Jennette focusing on acting and making music on the side, while Ariana became one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Jennette publicly criticized Ariana in interviews and even went as far as to say that she did not consider her a friend anymore. But in recent years, Jennette has expressed regret for her past comments and acknowledged that it was wrong of her to publicly speak negative about Ariana. Despite the rocky history between them, both women have moved on from their Nickelodeon days and have gone on to achieve success in their respective careers. Jennette has continued to act in various projects, including the Netflix series Between and the drama film Peck. She's also focused on her music career, releasing singles and an EP in recent years. Similarly, Ariana has become a household name, releasing multiple successful albums and embarking on world tours. It's unclear if Jennette and Ariana have reconciled or if they will ever work together again. But it's clear that their friendship and working relationship on Sam and Cat was just not meant to last. However, the show's cancellation and subsequent fallout between the two stars have not stopped them from achieving success in their chosen fields. Both women have grown and evolved personally and professionally since their days on Nickelodeon. Number 8. Big Sean. A wave of surprise swept across the fanbase when news broke out that Big Sean reportedly called quits with the singing sensation, just a few weeks shy of their anniversary together. Various sources suggested that Sean chose to walk away due to what was perceived as Ariana's diva-like requests, including, and among other things, her alleged demands for private jet flights across the country. What seemed to add fuel to this fire was Big Sean's dissatisfaction over Ariana's seemingly lackluster support of his music career. He was reportedly upset about her absence at one of his album listening parties. Despite being one of Hollywood's favorite power couples, the split between these two was a shock to many. Fans took to social media platforms to express their heartbreak over the news, while others speculated what could have led to the demise of their seemingly perfect relationship. As with any celebrity couple breakup, rumors started circulating, with many people pointing fingers at Ariana's alleged diva behavior. However, neither party confirmed or denied these claims, leaving fans to wonder what really caused the split. Number 7. Mariah Carey. Mariah quite frankly expressed her fatigue over being constantly asked about her opinion to do with Ariana. Candidly, she questioned how she could be replaced in the music industry while she's still active and alive. She added in a somewhat sarcastic tone her best wishes to the new entrants, hoping they can indeed achieve their career aspirations if they decide to pursue this path. Well, that was quite the statement there. Mariah opened up about the pressures of being a successful artist in the constantly evolving music industry. She shared her thoughts on newer artists entering the scene and how she sometimes feels overshadowed by them. Now, this is a common feeling among many veteran musicians who have established themselves in the industry. As time passes, new talent emerges, and it can be challenging for established artists to maintain their relevancy and their popularity. But despite these challenges, Mariah continues to push boundaries with her music and remains a force to be reckoned with in the R&B genre. Her successes and longevity in the industry is a testament to her talent and to her hard work. Number 6. Solange. Next up, we have to talk about Solange Knowles, who is well known for expressing her genuine emotions on Twitter. She's been seen poking fun at Ariana Grande, contributing to the long-standing rumor that Ariana aspires to emulate Mariah Carey, a sentiment echoed by many. Knowles stirred the pot last year when she tweeted, "No one is better at this than Ariana Grande though, so I'ma just chill, happy Sunday." This statement suggested that she is not exactly a fan of Ariana's music, pointing out its striking resemblance to Mariah Carey's discography. Solange Knowles is not the only celebrity to use Twitter as a platform for expressing their opinions and thoughts. More and more celebrities are using social media to connect with fans and share their views on various topics, and this has led to an increased transparency between celebrities and their followers, giving fans a glimpse into the lives of their favorite stars. However, sometimes this can also lead to conflicts and feuds between celebrities, as seen in the case of Solange Knowles and Ariana Grande. While some people might view it as harmless banter, others see it as unnecessary drama. Despite this, Twitter remains a platform for celebrities to interact with their fans and showcase their personalities. Number 5. Drake Bell. Drake has a controversial view of Ariana Grande. According to him, he perceives her as just another privileged individual who never had to work hard for anything. Now, this is a notion that raised a lot of eyebrows when it was first publicized, yet it resonated with some people. It's well known that Ariana had a financially comfortable upbringing, with her path to success seemingly free of obstacles. He said, "Suddenly they're discovered on YouTube, whisked into the studio, and they believe they can have anything they want. Ariana Grande became a billionaire before she was even established herself as an artist. There's value in working hard to appreciate what you have, but what hard work has she ever had to do?" So he made it clear that he wasn't exactly a fan of her. Drake Bell's controversial views on Ariana sparked a heated debate among fans and critics alike. While some people might agree with his perspective, others argue that it is unfair to discredit her talent and her hard work. It's no secret that Ariana did have a privileged upbringing, but does that automatically invalidate her success? Many would argue that working hard doesn't always mean struggling or facing adversity. In fact, Ariana has spoken out about her own struggles with anxiety and the pressure of fame, which suggests that she has faced her own challenges in the industry. Number 4. Chrissy Teigen. In a rather surprising twist, Chrissy stirred up some controversy after Ariana's performance on the iconic Saturday Night Live. It all started when Teigen took to social media expressing her dislike for people who wear cat ears as a fashion statement. Coincidentally or not, this tweet was posted just hours after Ariana's appearance on the show, where she was noticeably wearing cat ears. While Teigen later tried to downplay her comments, it was pretty evident that things between her and Ariana were frosty, to say the least. In light of this incident, many people started to wonder whether or not there was some underlying tension between these two celebrities. Some speculated that her remarks were directed towards Ariana, while others believed that it was just a coincidence and it was not necessarily meant as a personal attack. But despite all the rumors and speculations, both women have remained relatively tight-lipped about that whole situation. They have not addressed the incident directly, and instead they have chosen to focus on their respective careers. Number 3. Mayim Bialik. Mayim, who is widely known for her role in The Big Bang Theory, is disconcerting when it comes to airing her grievances, especially if it gravely concerns her. Notably, any discussions around Ariana Grande seem to prompt her discomfort. She expressed her discontent regarding the notion that successful women in the music industry, including Ariana Grande, hinges on their willingness to dress scantily or in lingerie. She said, "I've come across a few billboards lately that really irk me, particularly one featuring Ariana Grande. I should note I don't really know who she is or what she does. She finds the use of nudity on these billboards to market to be unsettling and dreads the day that she must justify to her sons why so many Hollywood women are perpetually unclothed." Yikes. Number 2. Giuliana Rancic. It's clear that there are some tensions between Giuliana Rancic and Ariana Grande. Rancic, the former anchor for E! News, was taken aback during an interview when Ariana insisted on a particular camera angle. The young singer, who was only a teen at the time, expressed her preference for being filmed from the left side, leading her to ask Rancic to switch places with her. Ariana's request was a little surprising, given that it meant asking a mature and professional woman like Rancic to accommodate her particular aesthetic preference. And coming in at number 1, Miley Cyrus. In the world of celebrities, it seems like Miley can't resist stirring the pot. Audiences were left speechless when an excerpt from a New York Times article suggested that Miley might have an issue with Ariana, giving her a somewhat veiled stub. The vocalist described the encounter saying, "I was backstage with Ariana Grande. I said to her, 'Step out with me right now, let's take a photo, and this will be the best thing that happens to you because associating with me makes you seem a little less innocent.' That was Miley implying that Ariana needed her association for some publicity and to boost her relevance. So it's no secret that the entertainment industry can be a cutthroat business, with celebrities constantly vying for attention and relevance. And Miley Cyrus is certainly no stranger to controversy and stirring up drama. But what exactly was she trying to achieve by making such a statement about Ariana? Some people might say that it was just another way of Miley's signature attention-grabbing antics, but others speculated that there might be some underlying tension between the two singers. After all, both Miley and Ariana have been in the industry for quite some time now, and they have often been compared to each other. Maybe Miley's comment was her way of asserting her dominance and reminding people of her own success in comparison to Ariana's. Or maybe there's some truth to Miley's insinuation that Ariana needed her association for publicity. But regardless of the intention, it seems clear that Miley was trying to make a statement and create buzz. And in today's age of viral media, any kind of attention can be seen as good attention.
At number 8, Alexa Nikolas. You may know Alexa Nikolas from her time on the Nickelodeon show Zoey 101. She starred alongside Lynn Spears and Victoria Justice on the show, but was only on the show for about 2 seasons after she was let go and written out of the show at the end of season 2. In the years since, there has been a lot of talk about making a reboot of the show, but Alexa has been very vocal about remaining out of the show's talks despite being a fan favorite. Alexa explains that because of her horrible experiences on the show, she would not be interested in rejoining the cast years later. Since leaving the show, Alexa has been very outspoken about her time on Nickelodeon and Zoey 101. In the past, she's spoken out about the bullying that she faced on set from her co-stars, how she had been verbally abused by producer Dan Schneider, and how she was berated by Britney Spears after her younger sister Jamie brought her on set. Alexa voiced how she was always being belittled while working, and that after the incident with Britney occurred, she was dragged into a meeting with Dan, Nickelodeon, Viacom, and a network lawyer to discuss what happened. Alexa recalled what Dan said to her that day, saying, quote, "I'm a side character and I don't matter in industry terms. I had to put on a good face, I can't take bullying." Dan was like, "Maybe there's some truth in what Britney said. Maybe you shouldn't be in this industry. Maybe you can't handle it." End quote. After hearing about Alexa's experience, we sort of get an understanding as to how things were behind the scenes, warning us that if you're not a big character, you'll just be shoved to the side. At number 7, Mark Summers. The 90s was a huge time for Nickelodeon. Its wacky shows and slime was a big staple in a lot of people's lives during this time, but just because the viewers enjoyed it doesn't mean that the cast did too. Mark Summers, the former host of the Nickelodeon game show Double Dare, has had some seriously harsh words for Nick after leaving and has warned about the network's quality. Back in 2013, Mark ripped Nickelodeon a new one after calling the network a train wreck. He went on a rant about the network after calling into the radio station Max 98.3, where he went on about Nickelodeon and how it has gone downhill since his time working there, and saying, quote, "Their network is going in the dumper." Mark also said, quote, "Disney beats it. They have no idea what they're doing. They just put on a bunch of cartoons and stuffed animals instead of real human beings that other people can associate with. The creative people are gone. It's become a how much money can we make from this merchandise and how many tours can we put out and steal money from the parents." Mark has also made claims that the network's execs have been trying to, quote, "screw him over ever since he left." Judging by how strongly he feels about Nickelodeon's downfall, his warning that the network's quality is going downhill might be something to consider. Now, before I go any further, I would like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also head on over to my gaming channel, Viper Girl, if you're looking for some gaming content to enjoy. At number 6, Jennette McCurdy. Actress Jennette McCurdy spent her teen years portraying the character Sam Puckett on Nickelodeon. She got her start on the show iCarly, playing the best friend to the show's star Carly Shay, played by Miranda Cosgrove, and was later cast in a spin-off show called Sam and Cat, where she starred alongside Ariana Grande. Though she has spent many years at Nickelodeon, they weren't at all the best years of her life. In fact, they were some of the worst. Jennette has been very outspoken about her time working with Nickelodeon and how it affected her mental and physical health. When she first rose to fame on iCarly, Jennette struggled with her body image, becoming obsessed with her size and weight. Though she tried to keep herself looking a certain way, there was no way around the fact that she was growing up and was no longer a kid. She felt the stress of having her appearance publicized and criticized by viewers as well as the show executives. Later, after iCarly ended and Sam and Cat began, tensions rose within the cast as Jennette and Ariana reportedly didn't get along. It made for a very uncomfortable work environment, and on top of that, Jennette was reportedly making much less than her co-star. Things got so bad on set that it actually resulted in the show being cancelled after just one season. Jennette has also been very outspoken about how she was mistreated while working for Nickelodeon and does not hold back when talking about the bad moments from her childhood stardom. She's since moved on from her time on TV and is pursuing other endeavors, but she won't shake the horrors that came with working for Nickelodeon. At number 5, Alasdair Gillis. Now, you might not be very familiar with Alasdair Gillis, but he has been one of the most outspoken former Nickelodeon stars, and he even wrote a book calling out the content from the quote-unquote golden age of Nickelodeon. Alasdair starred on the show You Can't Do That on TV, and ever since leaving Nickelodeon, he's warned people about working for the network, using his own horror stories as proof of why you should steer clear of there. In Alasdair's book, Slimed, An Oral History of Nickelodeon's Golden Age, he called out a lot of the jokes that were made on some of the shows back in the day and commented on how inappropriate they were. He cited how they would often make fat jokes and comment on people's appearances, something that isn't the nicest thing to be teaching to younger generations. But the biggest concern that he raised was about Nickelodeon's coveted green slime. Getting slimed is a famous Nickelodeon theme, but back in Alasdair's day, the slime he and other stars were subjected to was actually toxic and caused lasting damage. As a result of this, he and other former stars actually filed a $1 billion lawsuit against Nickelodeon for the health issues caused by the slime, which gave them green slime syndrome. When reflecting on his experience getting slimed, Alasdair said, quote, "I didn't ask questions, I just did what the director said, and now I live in constant pain," end quote. The producers convinced the actors that being exposed to the slimy substance wouldn't cause any lasting damage, but clearly that wasn't true. Alasdair paid the price for his craft and is now warning us about how Nick stars get treated, showing that even their health isn't as great a concern to producers as content. At number 4, Josh Peck. Today we know Josh Peck as a YouTuber, former Vlog Squad member, and former Bynes star, but before his internet fame, he was famous on Nickelodeon, specifically for his parts on The Amanda Show as well as the show Drake and Josh. Josh has spoken out about his time on Nickelodeon, saying that being on Drake and Josh was extremely frustrating for him as an actor because of how long it would take for his work to be aired. Josh has said that filming and editing the episodes would take about a year because the post-production was so lengthy and tedious. He said that this unprofessionalism is what made him want to take a step back from the network because he just couldn't handle how they ran things over there. His experience with Nickelodeon is part of the reason why Josh decided to make the jump to YouTube. In an interview, he voiced how he is able to connect with his audience better than he would on TV because he has control over the content, is able to post on his terms, and is able to receive feedback immediately, something that he hadn't experienced in the past. Josh, speaking out about his time on Nick, warned us about how things really are behind the scenes of these shows and opened our eyes to how grueling the process of creating these shows really is. At number 3, Amanda Bynes. Former child star Amanda Bynes rose to fame while working for Nickelodeon, and she started pretty young. She was first cast in the sketch comedy show All That, and with the success of that show, she was given her own spin-off called The Amanda Show. She was then able to star in many other productions, boosting her stardom, but there was reportedly some things going on behind the scenes that many people believe have affected her greatly. In 2013, Amanda had a breakdown resulting in her needing to be hospitalized, and because of the severity of her mental state, many people were left wondering why that is and how it happened. Many people believe that Amanda's breakdown was partially due to Nickelodeon producer Dan Schneider. After a behind-the-scenes video of him and Amanda was leaked showing the two of them in a hot tub together, fans started to piece together some disturbing facts. A lot of fans pointed out how there was seemingly an overarching foot fetish in many of Dan's shows, and that there had been reports of inappropriate treatment with other female stars of dance shows. Though Amanda seems to be doing better these days, having graduated from college and pursuing a career in fashion industry, there still remains many unanswered questions as to how things really were behind the scenes. The pressures of being a child actor, as well as the suspected inappropriate treatment of her and other stars, serves as a warning to those looking to enter the industry that being a star isn't as glamorous as it might seem. At number 2, Melissa Joan Hart. Most of us know Melissa for portraying Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but she had risen to fame on Nickelodeon before she took on her witchy character. She got her start in the early 90s on the show Clarissa Explains It All. The show was a huge success, and her work on the show became a huge part of her life. Now, although this was her first major role, that didn't mean that it wasn't best for her. In the past, Melissa has spoken out about her time on the show, saying how her work shaped her to be the person she is today, but that it wasn't all positive. Because of her position on the show, Melissa was forced to move away from her family at a young age, and she really did work a lot, having to be on set 6 days a week. When speaking about her Nickelodeon past in an interview, Melissa once said, quote, "It was tough, on one hand because my family was away from me. It made me grow up really fast and learn responsibility, but I think that working on the show definitely had an impact," end quote. Her tough work schedule affected her health both mentally and physically. She was away from her family and was rarely in school because of her work schedule, and this added a lot of stress to her life. There even came a point where she lost one of her baby teeth and the adult tooth just never grew in. This made her feel insecure and she wanted to get that fixed, but Nickelodeon producers stopped her from doing it because they said that missing her tooth made her look younger and therefore more appealing to audiences. She really had a tough time on the show, warning us about how tough the task of being a Nick star truly is, and how producers will do anything to shape an actor's image. And finally, at number 1, Ariana Grande. Nowadays, we all know Ariana as one of the biggest music stars out there, but before she was singing about math equations and relationships, she was a Nickelodeon star. Ariana portrayed the role of Cat Valentine on the Nickelodeon shows Victorious and Sam and Cat. Now, although Ariana doesn't have many horror stories to tell about her time working for Nickelodeon, she was subjected to some pretty weird stuff that have fans taking a second look at the content that the network was putting out, and specifically how Ariana's character was portrayed. Dan Schneider's shows were always very quirky and comedy-driven, with a lot of weird scenes and plot lines, but there were some moments where things got a little too weird and had people second-guessing the appropriateness of said content. All of the characters had odd storylines, and many of the actors had to do some weird things like be covered in food or act suggestively, but for Ariana Grande, things were extra weird. While filming Victorious, there was a time when she had to film herself pouring water on herself, making herself gag, and even put her feet in her mouth. Ariana's character Kat was always a very quirky and funny person, but some of her scenes just took things a little too far, making Ariana very comfortable in some of those instances. Sure, it's just for content, but there's gotta be a point where you think, maybe this is too much. On top of that, Ariana has also spoken out about how hard it was to break free of her character, saying how frustrating it was being attached to a character that was, quote, nothing like herself. She did what she needed to for her job, but it was taxing for her. In a way, she warned us about how difficult being a Nickelodeon star can be.
Due to her performative, goo-goo gaga baby demeanor and angelic voice, many have assumed that Ariana Grande is full of sweetness and class and sensitivity, and they couldn't be more wrong, because this SpongeBob bang and pop princess is a notorious homewrecker that I dare you to defend after watching. We're gonna start the homewrecking rundown with her first known affair in 2012. So, real quick, what is a homewrecker? Why is Ariana being called one? Well, a homewrecker is someone who has physical relations with someone who is in a relationship, potentially even has a family. Listen, to be real, the level of blame placed on the homewrecker depends on how close they are to the person being cheated on. I think we can all agree if you sleep with someone in a relationship but didn't know they were in one, that you didn't do anything intentionally wrong, so it is okay. You are technically a homewrecker, but you're not an ill-meaning one. You didn't know. Now, if you know the person is in a relationship and you actively pursue them despite that, you don't care, you want him, break up with your girlfriend, I'm bored, then guess what? You're probably a POS and you earn that title of a homewrecker. That's why people are coming after Ariana, not because they're anti-woman or because they're deflecting blame from the real cheater, which was the man who left his family to be with her. People are coming after Ariana because she intentionally seeks out people in relationships time and time again. 2012 was the first year Ariana got publicly dubbed a homewrecker, and it was by Jai Brooks, who felt the singer had been cheating with Nathan Sykes. Jai Brooks began a long-distance relationship with Ariana that lasted about a year, and things seemed fine until the pop star publicly announced very suddenly Brooks had broken up with her through a text message. Brooks in turn didn't want to take any dirt, so he revealed that Ariana was actually still in a relationship with him when she started dating Sykes. Grande, on the other hand, denied the cheating accusations, and that Jai was just trying to make her look bad, and that I did date Nathan, but then she went back to Jai, and then back to Nathan again, which is what made this okay to do apparently. So, on to where the real actual homewrecking begins, which is our next segment, the year 2013. By March of 2013, Mac Miller had been dating Nomi Leisure since 2009. That's a solid 5 years. He met Ariana Ariana in 2012, that previous year, and the two had recorded a song and music video, The Way, phenomenal, at which point rumors started to circulate that maybe he had cheated on his long-term girlfriend, Nomi Leisure, with Grande during the production. It didn't help that Nomi announced that she was leaving Mac almost directly after. So, Mac and Nomi managed to reconcile, and they stay together. Mac shuts down rumors that their breakup had to do with Ariana because, to quote him at the time, that's the homie. She's got a boyfriend and everything. What boyfriend is that? Oh, the next relationship she homewrecked, which happened in our next segment, 2014. Naya Rivera, RIP, dealt with the nightmare of not only having your fiance cheat, but with someone younger and nepotistic. Talk about a slap to the face, without adding in Ariana's penchant to appropriate black culture on that offense list, so yikes. Rivera previously called out the singer for her affair with Big Sean in her Sorry Not Sorry memoir, where she famously wrote that on the one day that he was back in LA, he said he didn't want to see me, but since she had a key, she let herself into his house, recalling the time that she discovered Grande hanging out at the Detroit rapper's residence. I walk in, go downstairs, and guess what little girl is sitting cross-legged on the couch listening to music. It rhymes with Shmariana Shwande, was Rivera's quip at the time. Of course, the black-haired beauty made it clear that she didn't witness any infidelity between Sean and Grande herself with her own two eyes, but according to her book, that revelation of an affair hit Rivera hard. She discovered that her engagement with Big Sean had essentially come to an end, and not only were they no longer getting married, but seems they weren't even together. She makes the decision to walk out, and then he began dating Ariana not long after, but only for 8 months. And it was only for 8 months because Ariana went right on back to home wrecking Mac Miller, this time in our next segment, 2016. This is the year that Mac Miller and Ariana officially get together. Shortly, very shortly, after he breaks up with Nomi Leisure again, who at this point he'd been dating for 7 years with the one exception of their breakup, which was caused by Ariana before. Mac and Ariana, a fan favorite couple, are quickly glamorized and romanticized by their young fans, but that all collapses inwards on itself in May 2018. After 2 years together, Ariana and Mac announced their split the very same week that she is seen with Pete Davidson out as a couple. Talk about top-notch scummy behavior. Scummy behavior made worse when you learn Pete Davidson had been in a 2.5-year-long relationship with Cassie David, who had absolutely no issue in immediately airing out to the press that Pete broke up with her and began dating Ariana the next day. She shared her emotional journey of dating the SNL star, recounting how Pete had taken Ariana on identical dates to the ones that were special to them, and how he'd literally just gotten tattoos inspired by Cassie, then broke up with her through a text message. Seems like Ariana and Pete made an arrangement to leave their partners for one another. Fact made worse when we all take a moment to collectively recognize the state of Mac Miller at the time. Because yeah, I will go there. She kicked the man while he was down by having this affair, and even her stans shouldn't try to deny that. Then, Pete was kicked to the curb out of her guilty conscience because of what happened, and then he's put through a public circus to distract people from how their relationship started, thus starting the descent into our last segment, 2020 to present. So, in 2020, Ariana announced she's dating Dalton Gomez. Now, according to fans, Dalton Gomez's ex-girlfriend named Ricky Barton had posted a photo on her Instagram story when he and Grande began dating, and that photo was captioned, "When you see your ex with the person they told you not to worry about." This, of course, leads to speculations that the pop singer might have been involved with Gomez while he was still in a relationship with Barton. And even her own fans saw the homewrecker pattern at this point and were quick to make mention of it. A lot of quips about, yeah, this seems like Ariana. Then there's speculation surrounding Ariana and gag The Weeknd having an affair back in 2014, either before or during or after her relation with Big Sean. The rumors rumors of this have floated since that 2014 Love Me Harder collab. So in January of 2022, the Torontonian releases his album, Dawn FM, and fans come up with an intriguing theory about one of the songs, I Heard You're Married. Seeing as none of The Weeknd's famous exes were married except for Ariana, fans thought this to be a potential subject. That and her, the song Off the Table seemed to provide some clues, leading some fans to believe that they had had some secret affair. But anyways, back to Dalton, who was happily married to Grande until their sudden 2023 divorce, and what'd you know? Ethan Slater leaves his wife of 2 years, who had literally just given birth, to shack up with none other than Ariana Grande. This is now the most brazen affair the singer has had, and it's drawn a lot of scorn and negative attention, as well as fans trying to argue that the label of a homewrecker is being used on Ariana for the sake of misogyny or being anti-woman. I hate to tell you guys this, but being a homewrecker in of itself is anti-woman, and it's become Ariana's entire brand. Need me to prove that to you? Break up with your boyfriend, I'm bored. 7 Rings, wherein she confidently sings, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. These lyrics seem to reflect her assertive approach to her desires and relationships. This girl has been honest about being a homewrecker and sees no shame in it, in case you can't tell by her most recent single. So it's wild to see some people try to defend her. I think it's about time we bring back shame.